When I was in my 20s and 30s, I didn't look forward to getting into old age, because as I looked at people who were already there, they looked like they were goners already. They didn't seem to have any life left in them. And I was dreading the thought of getting here. But I'll tell you what, now I'm older, I quite like where I am. There's a lot of gifts to it. And let me start off with the first one. The first gift of all of it is gratitude. I'm just grateful to be here. Way back in the day when I was ill with kidney cancer back in 2016, I didn't think I was going to make 60. And so to be 65, wow, I'm really happy with that. And I got to be grateful because so many people find this age to be, or think this age is going to be, let's put it that way, something to dread. And it's not. There's no point waiting for the big things in life to happen to be grateful then, because daily there are good things that go on. Just last night, I had a phone call out of the blue from somebody I haven't heard from in absolutely years, and it was lovely. We didn't talk about anything exceptional. We had a chat about the Beatles and we talked about a few old things, but it was really nice, and I'm really grateful that he made that phone call. It came out of the blue and it was just really nice. And it's little things like that that make me grateful for the time that I've had. Every day, if you look hard enough, you will find some good things out there for you to be grateful for. Now, number 2 is resilience. And you may think that that's an odd choice of why it's a gift. Well, the resilience is a gift because if you look back over your life, look back to the things that you've done wrong in your life, the mistakes that you've made, the failures that you've had. And we've all had them. And you've had that resilience to come through them all. If you think back to the times when you were 20 and the mistakes you made then, and you seemed like you were at the end of the world, but you weren't. And when you look back at them from this stage of my life, and I look back at the things I've done, and my Lord, did I do some silly things. When I look back now, they all seem so little, where at the time they seemed so big. And the reason for that is, over a period of time, we've developed resilience. Every one of those little failures that we've had in our life, even though at the time they seemed like the end of the world, they're not. And we've grown to get over each one. Every problem that you've had, every obstacle, everything that's been chucked in your way, that as you've gone on in your life, you've thought, well, can't get much worse than this. And yet, given time, you overcome that. And when you overcome that, you become stronger, you become more resilient. And then when something else happens that was as big as what that was back there, you realise that it's not that big at all. And you just carry on. And then when the next thing comes and gets chucked at you, and you like bat it away, you've worked out how to be stronger, how to overcome. And that resilience that you built all those years back, and bit by bit over time, have helped you to become who you are today. That resilience has provided you with experiences that when you're 20 you haven't had. They've provided you with wisdom, because for every mistake you've made, you've learned how to get out of it. And you have over the years. So as you get older, you become wiser. And so the resilience that you've had, the challenges that you've had over the way, has helped you to become a much stronger person, even if you don't think you are. And that's a gift, resilience. It's something you should be proud that you have. Third, time. Like I said right at the beginning, I didn't think I was going to make 60, but I've been fortunate enough to have the time to be at 65. I look back and I think of the friends of mine that didn't make it. Of friends who went out one day and were expecting to have family fun and didn't come home. One in particular at 36. Huge loss. And others have had the same illnesses that I've had and haven't overcome them. And if you get to this age, you shouldn't dread getting old, because it's a joy to still be here and to still have the time. And so at 65, when I didn't think I'd make 60, I still have things to look forward to. And so do you. Don't think of getting old as something to be upset about. Be pleased that you've had the time and been given the time to get to the stage in this life where we are. And that leads on to number 4, which is perspective. Because as I sit here at my age now and I start to look back, I see all the things that I've gone through in my life from a different perspective. And I understand things in a different way that I didn't when I was 20, 30, 40 and even 50. Time to be the age that we are gives us an overview of stuff that you wouldn't really have imagined when you were younger. And you look at things in a different way the older you get. We're past the stage at the 60s of looking to build careers and raise families, because for the majority of us, we've already done that. And we're now looking at the stage of our lives where we can do things for us. Because for many of us, we spend a lot of our lives doing things for family. And don't begrudge that. I mean, I love doing it. But what I'm saying is now, when you look back and you see that perspective that you had over the time, it leads you on to have the freedom to be who you are. Because I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I wasn't the most confident of people. I wanted to be liked. And that led me into doing things I didn't really want to do, but doing it because I wanted to be liked. I didn't want people to talk down about me because I used to say no, which is now one of my favourite things, because now if there's something I don't want to do, I just say no. It's as easy as that. You get to the age like we are now where if you've ever seen that programme, One Foot in the Grave, you can become like Victor Meldrew. It's expected. The freedom that we have now is not just about having time. It's about having the freedom of thought. The freedom to make up your own mind. The freedom to think what you like, to say what you want, and be who you want to be. For those that are younger and are still in the throes of a job, and even self-employed people, believe it or not, work for somebody else. Self-employed people work for their clients, for their customers, for their bank managers. It's just a fact of life. We all work for someone, whether you like it or not. But when you get that freedom of being who you are, it's enlightening. It gives you confidence that you may not have had along the way. For me, it took me till I was about 55 to start to be comfortable in my own skin. For years, I tried to be something for everyone. A yes man, someone who'd do anything if you asked them. Someone who would bend over backwards to be part of a crowd, to be liked. If you know that when you get to this kind of age, that you're comfortable in your own skin, you know that you're not trying to take anybody on, you know that you're not trying to turn someone over, you're not trying to do things that are going to be negative for other people. You get a freedom to be who you want to be, and it's lovely, you know. And finally, a legacy. We all leave a legacy. Mine won't be money. I'm not a rich man. I'm not a man of property and all that sort of stuff. So my legacy isn't that. My legacy, if you like, are these videos. Sharing the stories of my life and the experiences that I've had and the things that I've learned along the way. That's probably my legacy. But the legacy that we all really should care about isn't about money. It's not about your career. It's about how you made people feel in your lifetime. If you've lived a good life, if you've lived a life where you've done the best that you can do with it, then generally you're going to leave people with a good feeling. So you have a legacy to leave. I don't know what it is for you. You'll know though. Deep down, if you look down inside of you, you know the legacy you leave. And if you haven't quite got it to where you want it to be yet, there's still time to do something about it. These are gifts we get when we're aging. I know people don't look forward to it, but at 65, I feel like a teenager of old age, if you like. I feel like I'm just getting started in my older years. And it's a time that I'm really looking forward to. And so should you. Because whether you're there or you're not, it's going to be a time when you become more confident in yourself, when you get a freedom of thought that you never thought you'd have, and a time that you can enjoy. Because even at my age, there's still plenty of good things coming. And if you look over there, there's a video that I did a couple of weeks ago that I talked about aging in a different way. Have a look at that and see if we can pad this story out just a little bit. I'll see you next time.